Hello, welcome, and namaste. This is Moksha Mukti Apollo going live. And today we are exploring the source of the happiness within. Happiness is not outward. Happiness outward is conditional happiness. So those of us who look for happiness outward is looking for conditional happiness. And for those kind of happiness, one thought can make you happy, and the next thought can make you unhappy. Those are conditional happiness. And we have Bobby Atwell. Good morning, Bobby. Namaste. She's from Canada. This is Moksha Mukti Apollo going live right now. And he is pointing you to the source of the happiness. What is the source of the happiness? What is your source of the happiness? And we're going deeper. We're going deeper right into the source. And people have come in to this live talk and mentioned to me, to Moksha Mukti, well, the source of the happiness is what? Well, my source of the happiness is my child. My source of the happiness is money. My source of the happiness is my career. My source of the happiness is my hobby, etc., etc. Namaste, Bobby. Thanks for joining. So all of those are conditional happiness. So we're here to explore the source of the happiness. Even the source of the happiness, if you go deeper, you say, well, my source of the happiness is my daughter, right? Her life, right? But if you go deeper, even that has a source. The happiness that is stemmed from your daughter's life has a source, right? So we're exploring that source within us. And if you type your questions, comments, Moksha Mukti is here to point you to that source. So this is not, I'm not giving any information here. Well, maybe just the pointers, giving pointers to see the source of the happiness within you. Because once you recognize the source, you don't really need any instruction, because that source itself will guide you to be happy, if I may use a word for this purpose, right? But when you go deeper in that recognition, there is really no happiness, nor there is sadness. There is neither happiness nor sadness in that recognition. And that recognition is just is. You see, just is. Any questions, comment, concerns? And we are exploring the source of the happiness. Source of the happiness within. It's not outward, because the outward happiness, they're all conditional happiness. And if you want Moksha Mukti to give you an example, he can give you an example. For example, one thought can make you happy, the next thought can make you unhappy. Let's say you have a lot of money in your bank, then one thought, well, I've got a lot of money, I am secure now, I'm happy. And the next thought comes, oh, what if someone hacks into my account? What if someone steals my money? What if someone sues me? Blah, blah, blah. Well, those thoughts can make you unhappy, because those are all conditional happiness, right? So what we're doing is right now we are exploring the source of the happiness. And we have a Bobby Atwell. She writes, I have found an undeniable peace that I cannot really explain. Well, good for you. Tell me, where is that stemming from? Tell me, what is that stemming from, and tell me what do you mean by peace? What do you mean by undeniable peace? And where is the source? Where is that stemming from? Where is that coming from? What is that stemming from? It has to have a source. Everything that you experience has a source. So Moksha Mukti here to point you to see the source, to recognize the source. And Bobby Atwell writes, I have lost everything. The lost 5 years, my wife, my home, my son. I lost 5 years. So what do you mean by you lost your home, lost your wives? What's your story? That is certainly, people lose certainly something they value, like family, home, wealth, it happens to best of us, that's the part of life because everything fluctuates. And Bobby Atwell writes, I was last for about 5 years and recently I have been very much at peace. I was last for about 5 years. Oh, you were lost. You were lost or last? Bobby, my wife passed away from cancer. Oh, lost. Okay. So, okay, your wife passed away from cancer, right? That is certainly a sad story, to hear someone lose their life from cancer, right? But we are here to go deeper, to see the source, right? Where is that sadness coming from? Where is that happiness coming from? If you have a peace, undeniable peace, where is that stemming from? Because this whole existence, there is always what? Fluctuations. And you see, the life cycle, it is happening because in the fortuitous concourse of atoms, when the universe need atoms somewhere else, when the universe need atoms, or Moksha Mukti calls quantum, even go deeper, it will take lives from here and place somewhere else. Even as Moksha Mukti is speaking right now, universe can take him just like that, just sitting down. You see, if universe needs atoms somewhere else or a quantum somewhere else to sustain itself. So these are all fortuitous concourse of atom. And when we lose someone, certainly we'll feel sad because we are attached to home, wife, children. All of them, we are attached to that. We are conditioned to that, right? We certainly feel sad. There's a sadness there. But even when you go deeper, where is that sadness stemming from? Where is the happiness stemming from? See, these are all functionality. We have all these functions. That functionality that is happening, right? And this is happening all the time. When the universe needs this, he'll place it somewhere else. And certainly that will make you sad because now you are conditioned to become sad because now you're attached to, your home, your family, and all that. And yeah. And Bobby writes that I don't really know. Yeah. Yeah, you don't really need to know that either. But it is what it is. When the universe needs atoms, you'll place it. That's it recycles. That is all happening, right? And there are many of us who lose family members. um, and that's part of life. But we are here to explore. You said you have unconditional, undeniable peace. What do you mean by undeniable peace? So how long ago did you lose your family? Well, good. Glad you're happy. Would you like to share your source? Where is that happiness stemming from? I feel very solid. Good. Where is that solid stemming from? Sorry, all your family, your wife passed away in 2010. And for 5 years, you felt the pain. Because you are attached to the family, that's certainly natural to be attached to the family, because that's how we are conditioned in this society. You see? And that's natural to be sad. Now you're happy. Okay, certainly. Certainly. Lonely and alone are two different things. Certainly. Certainly when you Moksha Mukti is never lonely. See, he is speaking right now. Although, thank God, Moksha Mukti's family is here. I have my wife, my children. They're all living. And I thank God for that. But Moksha Mukti does a lot of things alone. Like he goes down and gives these talks. See, does a lot of things alone, but he's never lonely. He's never lonely. You see. And that's good. That's very good. Well, I'm glad you're happy. But we are exploring the source of the happiness. What made you happy? See, if you see the source, maybe you have recognized the source. When you recognize the source, you're no longer lonely. You're no longer sad. You're no longer feel sorry for yourself when you recognize the source. Right? When you recognize the source. That's what Moksha Mukti here to point to you. When you recognize the source, that you're no longer sad. You're no longer lonely. You're no longer unhappy. You see? Those are all stemming from the thought. See, the thought is conditioned. All of them are stemming from the thought. Yeah, yeah. There is no need to call yourself victim in the reality, because what you are, already healthy, already happy, already imperfectly perfect, already all that, now in this present moment. Now, you see, not in the past, not in the future. Now you're already fulfilled, you're already happy, you're already all that. And Moksha Mukti is here to recognize that. Well, Moksha Mukti is here to point you to recognize that. And those are other viewers here. He may have going through similar experiences. Like, for example, there was one person came in and commented, well, I have anxiety, and we lost connection, but we didn't get to have a chance to go through. So she came and said there was an anxiety, and why were you anxious? She was anxious because she had like 2 kids, and she had to leave her kids and go do her school or something, right? So in that moment, she was anxious. Well, what's going to happen to my kids? And in that situation, so if something happens, well, what would happen is just that the worry is stemming from the mind. So worry is stemming from the mind, right? So if you're watching again, whoever asked that question, that she was anxious, well, certainly, don't try to control things that you cannot control. Once you leave your kids to wherever you babysitter or someone, it's a stranger, probably babysitter, you just trust it, and you say, you pray, well, my kids will be fine, and you pray, and from there, you just have faith, because now you cannot do anything, because now you placed your faith on someone else. And when you place your faith on someone else, then you don't worry. And if you worry, then that will eat up your energy, and you may not be able to do good in your school. So anyway, then we have Bobby at LC. He writes, I feel love. Good. I no longer try to control things. Yeah. There is no need to control things. But certain things you have control over. Certain things you have control over. Those things, when the situation arises, you take control. But some things you have no control, then what? Some things you have no control, let it happen. You see? So yeah, those of you who just joined, namaste, this is Moksha Mukti, and we are Moksha Mukti is here to explore, pointing you to the source of the happiness. Where is that stemming from? Where is the source of the happiness? Where is that stemming from? You see? And you may feel happy, you may feel all that, but if you recognize the source, even in the situation when you're sad, you can go back to the source and say, wait a minute, I'm not really sad. It's just the role playing that is happening and that is appearing in my consciousness. So all this role playing that are appearing in my consciousness, and it fooling me to feel that I am sad, but I'm really not sad. If I go deeper to look for the source, I'm not really sad, right? So Moksha Mukti is here to point you to the source. And when you recognize the source, then even you're sad, hey, I'm not really sad, that's just the way it is. See, because sometimes sun happens, sunny day happens, sometimes rain happens, Sometimes thunderstorm happens, tornado happens, you see. These are all happening. And they're appearing and disappearing in your consciousness. So those who just joined, this Namaste, this is Moksha Mukti Apollo. If you have any comments, concern, questions, feel free to share. And Moksha Mukti is trying to point you to the source of the happiness. And if you're already happy, fine, share your experiences. So, happiness and sadness, they're both stemming from one source. You see. And we have Catherine Lazada. Namaste, Catherine. Thanks for joining. How do you start to find happiness? Well, we come into the place where we are exploring the source right now. So Catherine, there is two things happening within you. One thing that you already know, that is the source that you already have within you now. Now you already have the source within you. Now other thing that is happening in your functionality is you have your thought or mental instrument. You have mental instrument, right? And the mental instrument is telling you I am not happy. And mental instrument is looking for conditional happiness. One thought can make you happy and the other thought can make you unhappy. Because in a thought level, the nature of the thought is good and bad, right and wrong, night and day, so on and so forth. There's always duality. So happy, unhappy, both stemming from the thought, right? So if you go through thought process, well, some thought process can make something happy conditionally, and then it can make you unhappy conditionally, because it is all happening simultaneously. It is all happening dynamically. See, that is the process of the thought. Even one thought, tiny thought, can make you happy, and one tiny thought can make you unhappy. So these are all happening, see, dynamically, right, in your consciousness, appearing and disappearing. So Moksha Mukti is here to point you to the source. Explore that source within you and tell me, where is your happiness stemming from? If you're sad, tell me, where is your sadness stemming from? There is a source within you. So those of you just joined, Namaste, this is Moksha Mukti, pointing you to the source of the happiness or the sadness, pointing you to recognize the source of that. Any other questions, comments? And we have Danielle Martin. I'm doing my best to pronounce your last name. So Danielle, thanks for joining. Namaste. This is Moksha Mukti. And we have, she writes, or he, I think it's she. Danielle, the Danielle writes, I have no family, no friends, no loved ones, and don't know how to not feel so alone and so helpless. The loneliness is unbearable. All right, Danielle, let's see the source. Where is your loneliness stemming from? Certainly having a family, having a friends, that support you can make you feel like you're loved, make you feel like you're loved, and certainly give you some sort of a comfort, right? But those are all conditional happiness. Those are all illusory happiness. Even if you have friends, right? 1 minute that person can be friend, and next minute that person is not your friend. Even family, 1 minute they are friend, they're your family. Next minute they act differently. So these are all happening dynamically. But certainly having a family and friends, does help you to feel some comfort, right? But Moksha Mukti is here to see the source. Where is your loneliness stemming from? So if your loneliness is stemming from, if that is stemming from a family and friends, those are only coming from your thought. Those are only illusory source of your loneliness, right? Because that source of the loneliness is stemmed from your thought. And Moksha Mukti, well, although I have family friends, he's passionate about them, but there is no attachment to them. You see, and we have another person here. He was just here. I think Bobby. If you look at his comment, he's alone. He lost his family. He for last 5 years he was confused, lonely, and all that, right? But now he's alone, and he said he's not lonely. Why? Because when you go see the source, all of them is stemming from one source, and that is interpreted by your mind. Well, I'm lonely, I'm not lonely, right? Those are the play of your mind. But what Moksha Mukti is pointing is explore to see the source. Where is that loneliness coming from? It's not really coming from your friends. It's not really coming from your family, not having a family, but it's something else other than that that is already within you. So Moksha Mukti is pointing you to see that source. Because from that source, loneliness and not loneliness stemming from one source. And what is making you lonely, is not something that you think, well, I'm lonely because of this. You're not. Because you can be alone and not lonely. Then we have Daniel writes, how do I find my happiness in my loneliness? Well, first, you have to seek the source. Where is your loneliness stemming from? What makes you lonely? Because you already have you. You already have you within now. That is already happy. That it is already happy. That is already imperfectly perfect. That is already everything that you need. That is already available to you right now. That is your best friend. That is your family. That everything already within you now. You see, and he's pointing you to that source that you already have it now. Explore this. What is that source? And what do you mean by happiness? What do you mean by happiness? So define what is meant by happiness and loneliness, your loneliness. See, because that source already knows. That source already is happy. That source is already, it's not lonely, because you are all connected. Whether you see with your mind or eyes or ear. Hey, hang on a second, I gotta turn this light up here. I have to turn the light off there. It's about to. It's a bright light, stem. So anyway, you have to ask yourself, what is happiness? What is loneliness? And see the source. So tell me, what do you mean by happiness? And tell me what do you mean by loneliness. If you say, well, I'm lonely because I don't have any friends or family, that is only conditional loneliness. You're not lonely because in reality we are all connected. Whether you don't speak with them or they don't speak with you, you see, that doesn't mean that they're not there. Your friends are already there. You see, because we're all connected. There is no separateness. See, we are like the waves in the ocean, ripple in the ocean, never separate from the ocean. Similarly, our quantum, we are made of quantum. We are part of the universe. We are never separate. So when you call yourself loneliness, you are separating yourself from the whole. And that is causing you the problem. You're not separate. You're not separate from the whole. You are part of the whole. Because we are all one. There is only one consciousness. We are all part of that. And we see separateness because we have this mental instrument that is given to us in the course of the nature, somewhere, sometime, that it occurred through the mutation or some sort of accident that granted this equipment in the mind that sees everything separateness, that sees everything separate, you see. And because of that, you feel loneliness, you feel unhappy, you see. So recognizing the source, in a recognition of your source within, in there you'll find happiness, you'll find not loneliness, everything. And he's pointing you to recognize that. That's already present within you right now, you see. And you're too busy thinking just in the thought. If you start thinking, you will not find happiness, you will not find loneliness. You may find conditional happiness, and that happiness may wear off. You may find conditional not loneliness, and that loneliness not wear off. But if you see the source, there is, you'll see. That is not in the thought. And if you try thinking will not make you happy. Thinking will not make you lonely. Maybe you got to take action, do something, right? Take action. Just by thinking, it will exhaust you. You see, it may make you lonely, it may make you unhappy. Any other question? Comments, concerns? Yeah, I mean, this is all dance of the quantum that is happening, you see. This is all happening. Dance of the quantum. Quantum is dancing. Universe is dancing. And in the dance, everything is appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing into your consciousness. And this appearance appearing as a loneliness, that appearing as a not loneliness, this appearance appearing as happiness, that appearance as not appearing as a happiness. See, these are all dynamically happening. But in the source, there is no happy, there is no sad. In the source of the both happiness and the sadness is one. And we're here to explore that, recognize that. And Moksha Mukti is pointing you to the source. So namaste, who just joined, this is Moksha Mukti Apollo, pointing you to recognize the source of the happiness. Now, in this present moment, if you search for the happiness in the future, it's not there. If you search for the loneliness, it's not there. So it is happening in the present moment. It is happening now, in this ever-perpetuating present moment. You see, present moment is always perpetuating. Now, now, now. And what is the source within you? And what do you mean by I? Who is that I? How do I find happiness? Who is that I? Who is that you call yourself I? Who is that? Well, you'll certainly give me your name. You'll certainly give me your occupation. You'll probably give me your, I am so and so. I do this, So that is I. But who is that I? Who is that I that you call yourself I? See, that I am unhappy. Right? I am happy. I am sad. I am lonely. I am healthy. I am good. Who's that I? Who is that I that you call yourself I? So he's pointing you to the source. So we have to go through the exercise to point you see. Because right now we are actually experiencing. This is experience. We are experiencing now. You see, I'm not giving you information. We are here exploring to see the source of the happiness. We are experiencing that now. This is not information. See, we are experiencing. This is about experiencing now in the present moment. And if you go in the past, you are stuck in the past, small memory in the head, and you are giving attention to that, and you miss everything in the present moment. Similarly, if you go in the future, what happens? You are giving attention to a small part of the brain, and you are creating anxiety. And we have Nikki Baruano. I think you are here, Nikki. Hi, Nikki. How are you? Namaste. Thanks for joining. Some of you are familiar because you've been here before. So glad you're joining. How are you today? What's going on? So Moksha Mukti is pointing you to the source of the happiness. Or anything you have any questions, comment, concerns, feel free to share. Moksha Mukti will point you. And in a way, this is a meditation, not artificial meditation like Kundalini meditation or dynamic meditation or any meditation that you heard of. So this is natural meditation. Once you recognize the source itself will give you that meditation, and that becomes a natural meditation. You see? And Moksha Mukti is meditating almost 24 hours, 7 days a week. Even in sleep, he's meditating. So yeah, Nikki writes, how can I bring more happiness to my 7-year-old son who has severe ADD and ADHD? Well, certainly disease, so-called disease, ADHD, they are stemming from the thought. ADHD stemming from the thought. And Moksha Mukti has pointed. And if you put your attention in thought, that will certainly create ADHD. But if we ask him to come to the source, see the source. And it's difficult if a lot of the ADHD are children, it's difficult for them to, see that. Even my own daughter has a fear of the weather. She gets scared of the weather. There's a fear in there. And I've been trying to point her, look, why are you fearful? It's difficult with the child, but you can help the child point to the source. Even the child has a source, and our society is busy, putting too many pressure on the child, and that child becomes, development syndrome like a ADHD, what is that? ADHD, yeah, attention deficit disorder, right? Because that is coming from the thought. Because he is putting too much attention on the thought, and that is happening in the human on the planet. That is happening in the planet because 99% of the humans are busy giving too much attention to the thought. And when you give too much attention to thought, and that creates that problem, you see. Because now you have too much attention on the thought, that eats up all your energy. Because thought, when you're thinking, it uses your energy, and you're thinking all day, and that energy is lost, and there is no more energy left for you to give attention to the source. You see, and source, there is a peacefulness, so-called happiness, so-called love is already there in the source. You see, and Nikki Rai's opposition, define, disorder, or stance. Oppositional, define, disorder, or stance. I don't know what you mean by that. Oppositional, define. But it's it's a simple. It's everything stemming from the thought, and our whole society on the planet, human beings, are encouraged to put attention to the thought. Certainly, think about it. Everybody will say that. Well, you need to think about it. That is part of the living to function in the society, but we give too much attention to the thought. And here Moksha Mukti is pointing you to see the source within you. He's pointing you to see the source within you, so you don't have to give too much attention to the thought, right? So you give attention to the source and see the source, recognize the source, that you are already loving, that you are not lonely, that you are not sad, that you are not a victim, that you are, you see, already imperfectly perfect, already healthy, already happy, now in this present moment. Nikki writes, thank you. You're welcome, Nikki. And Nikki writes, no, the stance was a typo, but the odd stands for oppositional, define, disorder. Okay, all right. So yeah, certainly, experts will label you that's disorder, and I have a problem with that. Well, not really a problem, even I don't accept that. One expert tell me you have ADHD, I don't accept that. That doesn't mean, don't take the medicine, What I mean is that I don't accept that, because that's all stemming from the thought, and when you recognize the thoughts and put your attention to the source, that itself will heal you. The source itself will heal you. See, you can heal anything and everything, you see, putting attention to the source. Anyway, you may want to try, a meditation, maybe that will help him, but Moksha Mukti does not recommend anything. He's not recommending anything. He just suggesting, maybe meditation will help him to recognize the source, right? So then we have Brenda Stein. Hello, Brenda. Namaste. Thanks for joining. Glad you're here. And she writes, how do I know the mind of the source? No, you will not know. That's the difference Moksha Mukti is trying to differentiate. He's pointing you. The mind will not know the source, but there is something within you that knows. Now, in this moment, you already know that. But something is distracting you. One thought is distracting you. Your mind is distracting you. One thought is distracting you. Thought is saying, hey, that is the nature of the thought, right? Thought is saying, hey, I am powerful because I am thinking here, And we have invested tremendously on thinking, and thinking has produced many things, and your mind is saying, I am powerful, I want to know what is the source. Mind will never know the source, but there is something already within you that knows, and what you need to do is give attention to that, not so much to the mind for this moment. I'm not saying don't give attention to the mind all the time, not saying that. If you do that, then you have problem functioning in the society, right? Because we have to use mind even to come here. You have to use mind. You have to come into Facebook. You have to log in there. Then you have to come into Namaste group. Then you have to scroll and see Moksha Mukti talking. You have to do all that for the mind. But what he's saying is, don't give too much attention to the mind. Even now, give your attention to the source. And that itself knows. That itself guides you. And that you know that right now in this moment. You know that, but you're not believing that, right? Because your thought is more powerful. And I'm going to give you an analogy in just a few minutes. I have to bring a candle. I'll show you a candle light. You see, your source within you is like a candle light. You see, and your thought is like the sun, powerful sun or the light. And if you put the candlelight in the dark, you'll see how powerful is that, and your source is like that. And the moment thought comes in, the light comes in, your candleness, it becomes insignificant, and you don't appreciate that. Well, candle, you're nothing. I rather go to my thought because thought seems powerful, but it's not. In the reality, that source is the powerful. Every power is stemming from there. You see, that is called inner power. See, that is called your inner source that you have already within you. Everything is stemming from there. And thought is just interpreting that. You see. And Brenda Stein writes, thank you. You're welcome, Brenda. See, once you recognize the source, everything will become meditation, even meditation. See, Moksha Mukti is meditating now. He's talking. He's meditating because that is natural meditation. He is in natural state of being, you see. And everything is stemming from the source, and he's meditating now. And everything he's speaking, it's not like he heard from someone or he read from someone. Everything is stemming from the source. And that source knows. And everything I'm telling you is the truth. However, I'm not saying that's the absolute truth, because you have to recognize that truth within you, in your own functionality. When you recognize that, whatever Moksha Mukti is saying, when you recognize that in your experiencing, and then you can call yourself that truth. Otherwise, that's not truth for you. It's truth for Moksha Mukti. It only becomes truth for you when you recognize that in your own experiencing, not by thinking, but in your experiencing. If you see the functionality what Moksha Mukti telling, only then it becomes truth for you. That's why we're doing this exercise. We are exploring. We are exploring this. And Brenda Stein writes, you are awesome. Thank you. You are awesome also. You see, whatever Moksha Mukti has, the source is the same exact thing that you have right now. Right now. And he wants you to explore that. He wants you to recognize that. He wants you to experience that source within you. And Brenda Stein writes, yes, I understand. Well, good. Not so much understanding, experiencing. Experiencing. Experience that. Understanding is of the thought. Again, you're giving attention to the thought. Experience that. And once you recognize that, carry that wherever you go. But here, explore, recognize, give attention to that. Brenda Stein writes, I feel blessed. Well, bless you. You are already blessed. But don't take it like, bless you, I'm already blessed. But, the recognition has to be there. The exploration has to be there. The attention has to be there. All the time. All the time. Tiny attention has to be there all the time. You see. You cannot ignore that. And it will not let you ignore it. If you ignore it, it'll give you disease. It'll say, make you lonely. It'll make you sad. It'll make you all that. Because you are ignoring the source. You see. That's a self mechanism placed in you. See, the moment you steer away from there, it will ask you to give attention to that with a different experiences like sadness, loneliness, unhappiness. All this experience will actually pointing you to, gives our attention to the source, because that's who you really are. Constantly give attention to the source. But sometimes, what happened? You're too busy. You have to do other things like driving. There's a traffic. You have to give attention to the mind to function. You see. But when you're not so busy, give attention to that. Hey, who just joined? Namaste. This is Moksha Mukti. And we're together, we are exploring the source of the happiness now, in this present moment. Hey, hang on just 1 second. I've got someone at the door. I gotta check that out. Hello. So yeah, someone just trying to nobody that I know. So anyway, I'm back here. So what is your, Brenda writes, what is your thought on aliens and UFOs? Why do you care? Why do you care? See, we are all connected. This one universe, we are all connected. So we are human beings appearing as human beings, you see. And this is because of the comprehensive collective knowledge we have collected that we call ourselves humans, right? So are there other beings out other than this planet Earth? Certainly Moksha Mukti thinks there are other beings out there, you see. We don't even know what kind of form they are, but there is certainly the life. There is life everywhere. But even why do you care? There's life everywhere throughout the planet. There's life everywhere. throughout the planet, throughout the universe, whether in human form or some other form. Everything is living. And we have Jennifer Danielle. Hello Jennifer, namaste, thanks for joining, glad you're here. And she writes, can you suggest specific meditation practice to disconnect from the distraction of the world, especially when there is so much negativity? All right, Jennifer, let's simplify things. Let's not make things complicated for ourselves. Let's go and simplify this. First of all, Moksha Mukti does not recommend any meditation. His meditation is natural meditation, and it is arising from the source. He's meditating even now. See, there's a natural meditation. There are many meditation method, artificial method, which Moksha Mukti does not recommend. But he's not saying, go and don't do it. If you want to do it, you can do it, but he does not recommend it. So let's simplify things, right? To disconnect from the distraction of the world. There is no distraction in the world. The distraction is in the mind. See, if you recognize that, if you explore that, see that, the distraction is not the world, it's the mind. Distraction is in the mind. And who is distracting you? It's the thought that is distracting you. It is the thought. And when you say negativity, that is also interpretation of your own mind. Just because someone says negative, you don't have to take it as a negatively, because that's just interpreting. Mind is interpreting. So now in this moment, present moment, what Moksha Mukti is pointing you to see the source. When you see the source, recognize the source, those thought appears and disappears, like the cloud in the sky. And one thought you may say negative could be positive on other time. One thought you say negative could be positive in a different culture. So those are just the interpretation of the mind, interpreting. But when you see the source, when you recognize the source, those thoughts just appears and disappear, just like cloud in the rain, cloud and the rain or the sunshine. And you may say, well, the cloud is negative and sunshine is positive. But if there is no cloud, how would you eat your food? Because the cloud produces rain. You see, everything has a connections. Hello, those of you just joined, namaste, this is Moksha Mukti Apollo. Today we're exploring the source of the happiness within together. He's not telling you anything, he's just pointing you to the source for you to experience this now. And Jennifer Danielle Hewitt, she writes, thank you. You're welcome. Experience the source now. Recognize the source now. Don't even try to know it. You don't need to know it. Recognize. And that source will help you. The source will guide you to do meditation naturally. So you don't need to do unnatural meditation. Like yesterday this guy came up and said, well, I'm watching my breath. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. I'm watching. Hey man, that's kind of boring to me. Why would you want to do that? Watch your breath in and out, in and out. Breathing is happening on its own. Why do you need to watch that? But if that suits you, go ahead. See, the breathing in and out is happening on its own. I don't need to give attention. I just give attention to the source. And the breathing in and out happens on its own. And certainly, breathing in makes you feel good because you're taking oxygen. Oxygen going in the brain, calming you down. Any other questions, comments? Or you're happy? You're happy, you don't even need to speak. You don't need to speak when you're happy. You don't really need to do anything when you're happy. You see? Even the silence, there is a happiness in silence. And humans, they're looking for permanent happiness. Everyone is looking for permanent happiness. See, my happiness, I want to be happy all the time. That's what the thought is telling you. But you see, all the experiences arise in your consciousness. They come and go. They come and go. All the experiences. And all the happiness, sadness are created by the sensation in your body. Experiences of the sensation in the body. And this sensation will tell you I am happy. That sensation will tell you I am unhappy. In the reality, that's just the sensation in the body that is happening, and the mind is interpreting that. And Brenda is back. If his soul cries, what happens when you are forced into awakening? Well, if you take the artificial approach, then that means you are forced into awakening or whatever. See? Because in the reality, you are already awake. Why would you need to awake again? Just like, if the car is already starting, you don't need to start the car again. It's already started. If you try to start it, what happens? It makes the funny noise, probably bad for your engine. You are already awake, and forcing all the artificial method for you to awake, for you to experience awakening, is the forced method. Because you are already awake now, in this moment. And what makes you not recognize that is your own thought. Even a tiny thought that moves this finger has the power to distract it. And here, Moksha Mukti is pointing you to see the source. Pointing you to that, not to the thought. And in there, you are already awakened. And when you recognize that there is a possibility, endless possibility, infinity possibilities, you become dynamic. You become a dynamic thinker. Because most of humans, 99% humans, they think linearly. And there is a cause and effect on the linear thinking. When you become a dynamic thinker, everything is happening now, simultaneously. Even the past, present, and future happening now. In this ever-perpetuating present moment. soul, whatever you want to call that. See, I don't even call that soul. But it is something within you. You see. And everything you do points you to that. Everything happens in life points you to that. Just like gentleman was here. He lost his home, he lost his wife, he lost his son. In 5 years, he was extremely lonely, extremely unhappy, extremely sad. But everything pointed you to see the source. Now he's telling me he is happy. He's not lost anymore. He's not lonely anymore. Although he doesn't have anyone, he's not lonely anymore. Because everything happens in life points you to see the source. And give attention to the source. And the source itself will guide you. And carry that wherever you go. You see. With that source, you can create miracle in your life. There will be infinity possibilities. All the possibilities are limited by your own mind. Because mind is limited. You see. Brenda Stein, why do we digest things that will cause internal bleeding? Because you're giving too much power to your thought. Body has a tremendous intelligence. Body is tremendously intelligent, and you need to listen to body. Body tells you what you need to digest, what you don't need to digest. But the thought is causing that. Thought. And I'm not saying thought is thought is bad. It is good only when for you to function in the society. Only good. Function in the society. Hey, where's the water? I'm thirsty. I need to get some water. Where's the water? See that thirst. Or I need to ask someone. I'm going so and so direction. Where is that direction? Or I'm asking questions. Hey, how do I hook up this iPhone to the internet? Only those things. We see we need thought to function. But the thought is causing you more harm than good. So Moksha Mukti is pointing now to have your attention to the source, not so much to the thought in this moment. And Brenda writes, gentleness is very important for our heart. That gentleness is stemmed from the source. Gentleness is stemmed from the source. Gentleness is giving attention to the source, because source is like a candlelight, gentle, subtle, within you. And thought is it's barking like a dog. And in this recognition, you don't really want to say our hearts. Just worry about your heart. Your heart is the same heart as my heart. Worry about your heart. My heart. The heart. You see. Heart is gentle, yet it is powerful. Heart, the most powerful muscle in your body is the heart. Brenda Stein writes, I send you a soothing breeze of peace and compassion. Good. Where did it stem from? Where did it come from? Search that. Recognize that. Where is that soothing breeze of peace and compassion arising from? Brenda writes, can you recommend a prayer to access my acoustic records? Give attention to the source. It reveals everything. Everything is there. The term you say akas, it seems like it's outward, but no, they're not outward. They're already within you. The akas is already within you. The earth is already within you. The universe is already within you. Everything is already within you. Akash, Prithvi, Jivan, Shakti. Everything is already within you. It's not outward. All the records already within you, in the source. The one that says Akash, outward, the one that says is the thought. Thought says that. But the source itself, the space, what Moksha Mukti calls quantum plexus, in that space everything is available. And just give attention to that. The description you describe that kindness is needed, you just wrote a few minutes ago, and the compassion, the peace, all these things you send out, that is stemming from your source. The more you go deeper and deeper and deeper, you see, all those things will come out. All your records will come out. Everything will come out. And Brenda writes, and so it is. Don't take my word for it. Experience that. Recognize that. See that. When you see that, then you accept it. If you don't see it, don't accept it. Moksha Mukti is here to point you to the source, for you to recognize that, for you to experience. And he's not telling anything. He's pointing you to the source. He's speaking the truth for himself, but it's only truth to you once you recognize that, once you experience that, once you see that in your own functionality, own experience, then it is truth for you. Namaste, this is Moksha Mukti. Those who just joined, we are speaking about the source of the happiness. Where is that stemming from? We are experiencing that. We are recognizing that, and Moksha Mukti is pointing you to the source. And in this source, recognition of this source, there are infinity possibilities. All the thought that is appearing, is Moksha Mukti is taking you deeper, 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 deeper. It appears like a deeper because that's how thought interprets. So it appears like we're going deeper, deep in the ocean. You see. And, we have Brenda here. She's been with me for a while, and I think she's experiencing really deep experience right now. So we're not forcing anything here. There's no force. Moksha Mukti is only pointing you. And Brenda writes, thank you for pointing. Laugh out loud. It's the whole being here, whole energy. You see, Moksha Mukti is expressing the expression of the existence. So right here is a pure love, radiating, expressing the expression of the existence, which is love. And this love is different than the love you express with your family, friends, relatives, significant other, romantic partner. Those are different kind of love. But this love is the natural love, the existence, expression from the existence. And everything is pouring. See, Moksha Mukti can talk like this all day. And he's going to talk until the energy is there. And when the energy is no longer here, he's going to leave. You see. And it's good to laugh. No matter what is happening in your life, laugh. You see. And if you go deeper, when you see the source, both the laughter and the cry, both are stemming from one source. That one source, both of them are stemming from. And we have Sandy Harshkowicz. Hey, I'm just doing my best to pronounce your name here. Sandy, namaste. Thanks for joining. Glad you're here. And she writes, love is the key. Moksha Mukti is expressing the love of the existence. It's not the love like you love your family, friends, romantic partner, all those things. Those are different kind of love. But the love right here is the expression of the existence and the source. And, once you recognize that, then you become love. Sandy writes, namaste. Namaste, Sandy. Do you know what he means by namaste? Well, you don't really need to do that. It's just beautiful to do namaste. So those of you just joined, Moksha Mukti is speaking today, pointing you to see the source of the happiness within. Happiness is not outside, happiness is within. The source of the happiness is within. And one thought makes you think you're happy, and the next thought makes you think you're unhappy, are stemming from the sensation from the body. One sensation is perceived as happiness, and the other sensations are perceived as unhappiness. And all this perceivedness is conditioned by the mind. And mind is conditioned by the society. How your society imposed upon you. Your mind is conditioned. And how you see all this perception is depending on your condition, how you're brought up, how you're taught. And everything is happening is a dance of quantum, just like waves on the ocean, ripples on the ocean, calmness on the ocean. You see, they appear and disappear. Similarly, all the experiences that you're experiencing now are the dance of quantum. The universe is dancing now, every time, everywhere. And the mind is interpreting this way or that way, you see. And mind likes to interpret. That is the nature of the mind, to interpret. But we're dancing. The whole universe is dancing. And through mind we see. Through thought we see everything. And there are tangible and intangible stimuli. Now I have to charge my battery here. Let's see if I have to charge the battery here. This out. The battery's about to go die. So I had to disconnect from the microphone and use the iPhone microphone. Now the battery is charging, so we're not going to lose connection. So are you all happy? So what's going on? Any comments, concerns, questions? Are you meditating naturally with Moksha Mukti, exploring to see the source of the happiness now in the present moment? I hear birds outside. Airplane going by. have a nice journey. Every time Moksha Mukti hears airplane or sees airplanes, tell them, hey, have a nice journey. I don't know who they are. Because Moksha Mukti, 90% of the time, he is thinking about well-being of others. 90% of the time. Well-being of the existence, well-being of the planet, well-being of the universe. Because once you recognize the source, we are all connected, we are all one. There is no separation. Only separation is perceived by the mind, because that is the nature of the mind given to us, granted to us in the course of the nature. It happened through mutation or by accident or by some purpose, who knows, that we are possessed with this mind and we see separateness. Everything is separate, but we're all connected in the source. One. And Moksha Mukti, when he even walks, he doesn't even step on the ants, tiny ants. They're walking by. And he was agitated. One boy was playing with the ant, hurting the ant. Maybe he'll smash it and kill the ant on the pavement. Because everything is connected, we're all one. Even the tiny ant has life, so he doesn't step on it. Everyone is being quiet. Are you experiencing the meditation? What are you experiencing? You experience the peace, calmness, serenity, happiness. Because now you recognize the source, or you see the source within you. Oh, Brenda, you're back. Typing. Good. And Brenda writes, now look into the mirror of my soul and being my closed eyes, see, it is who I mended all along, silently creating a whole person. So you're meditating. So when you say, in the mirror of my soul, is there my, just the soul, or my soul? Do you experience my, anything my, personal? Like my closed eyes. See if you can go beyond that. It is I who mended. Who is that I and who is that my? Go deeper. And Brenda writes again, a sacred creature known as me. Who is that sacred creature? Who is that me? Go deeper. Who is that me? Is it just an illusion? Or is it real? Or is it just an illusion that we are all one and there is no me? And me is created by the mind to function in the society peacefully, intelligently, so we all can share resources. Is it created, the me is created by the thought, or is it just an illusion when you go deeper? When you close your eyes, do you see me? That you call yourself me, do you see that? Or it's just in your memory that you're recalling? You are recalling that me from your memory, aren't you? And when you close your eyes, do you know that we are sacred or not sacred? Creature or not creature? Can you tell when you close your eyes and look within? Ladies and gentlemen, those who just joined, or if you have been joining, we are in deep, deep state of sort of meditation, because those who joined here, what they're reporting back to Moksha Mukti is experiencing deeper, deeper experience. It's like going deep in the ocean, seeing, recognizing who you really are, the source of the happiness within. Now, in this ever-perpetuating present moment. And Brenda writes, I saw neatly broken wisdom tucked away here, there. Yes, you are recalling. That is recollection. All those wisdom that you call is stored in the memory, given to you by someone. And you're recalling that. That is your memory. But is that wisdom, what you call so-called wisdom, is that wisdom or just the information interpreted by mind as wisdom? So all the recollection is happening. See, everything is already within you, available to you now. All you have to do is give some attention, isn't it? Going deeper, deeper. Seeing, recognizing, experiencing the truth of who you really are. What is the source? What you really are. That you are infinity being, finited by the mind, limited by the mind. Aren't you? Isn't this beautiful? It feels beautiful to recognize that, isn't it? See, the source is already within you. We are exploring the source of the happiness, experiencing that now in this present moment. In a way, it's like meditation, deep meditation. Going through deep meditation, naturally. Brenda is writing again. Good. Together we hunted, round opened, discovered, loved, and shared. Hunted, found, opened, discovered, loved, and shared. Discover, discovering, opening, loving, exploring. This is what I mean. Exploring, discovering, opening, loving, and sharing. It's not separate. That source is not separate. The source is the one. And there is nothing else except the source. All the appearance and disappearance of your experiences are the illusion appearing and disappearing in your source. Appearing and disappearing is the universe dancing and creating all these waves, creating all this stimuli, tangible or intangible, to influence the mind, give you the sensation in the body. And that sensation, that influence, tangible or intangible, are creating experience for you to experience now. Everything changes. The universe is flux. Everything changes. What doesn't change is the source. It's always the same. The source is always the same. And everything changes, appears and disappears. Dancing, different moves created by the universe. And it is creating all the sensation in the body. Maybe there is a heaviness around your head, around your nose area, maybe around here, around your ear, around your cheek. All those sensations. They appear and disappear and changes. Brenda writes, we all know those people that are brutally honest. Listen to me, dear ones. Never let them go dogging for broken glass. Brenda, where are you now? What do you mean by those people? What those people got to do with it? You have experienced the thought of those people in your mind, but those people, why did you bring those people in? Why do you care whether why do you care whether they're honest or not honest? Yes, what is happening is you are recalling the words someone gave you. So what is happening? Experience that, see that, recollection Recollection is going on in your experiencing. You don't necessarily need to say wise words. Wise words will automatically come in. It just automatically comes to everything. And let other people say that's wise. You don't need to say that's wise. Let other people say that's wise. All the memory recollecting from your mind, you're recollecting. So that is happening right now. Experience that. See, that is happening in your experiencing right now. You're recollecting all stuff from your memory. So that's what's happening. So Moksha Mukti is pointing you to see that, what's going on in your functionality. So if you identify yourself, those people there, this wise, then you're limited. Moksha is pointing you to be to the source. The source is unlimited. And seeing the experiencing. And you are recalling the words. That's what's happening right now. See? And if you give to that, if you give power to that thought, if you give power to those words will consume you, and you fail to see what is happening. You are experiencing the recalling. So that's what's happening. And see what else is happening. And you're doing good. Staying with Moksha Mukti for this long to go through this process, to go through this exercise, to go through this exploration within, in the present moment. Brenda writes, I hold my positive vibration and not get pulled into someone's negative vibration. Yes, now there is a fear. I am sensing some fear. Why are you fearful? Why are you fearful? Who cares about others' negative vibrations? Just see your own vibration. That is already positive. The negative vibration you are experiencing is only in your thought. And that's what I tell my daughter. What you are afraid is only in your thought. Brenda writes, I am infinity awareness, having this experience. Yes. Now you're getting it. Infinity. Because what you are is infinity. And your mind is limiting you. Saying this person is negative, that person is positive. Also just the interpretation of the mind. Experiencing. And see that. Don't deny that. If you have that thought, don't deny the thought. See the thought. And just say, hey, that's just the thought. It's not who I am. Because you are infinity awareness. You said it. Infinity possibility here. Infinity possibilities. And all those experiences are appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing in your consciousness. So, namaste. See that infinite awareness is I have in me, is I have in you. And when Moksha Mukti said namaste, is he's recognizing that in you, because what that is within him, and that is also within you. And this namaste means recognizing that whatever Moksha Mukti has within you, you have that within you. Carry that wherever you go. Carry that wherever you go. And then there's a possibility of miracle. There's a possibility of infinite possibilities. Not limited by the mind, not limited by the linear thought. See, the thought is dynamic, happening. And Moksha Mukti is gonna be here maybe 5-10 more minutes. Today we are exploring. Moksha Mukti is pointing you to see the source of the happiness within. Explore that now in this present moment, and There's one person, Brenda. She's been exploring for some times, and she's been commenting to let her experience appear on the comment section. And in my experience, all the talks, all the satsang Moksha Mukti has given online, this has been one of the deeper, if I may use the word deeper, experience, or more participating experience, because Moksha Mukti can express, but someone is responding to that and going through that exercise to explore the source within you, to explore the source of the happiness within you, to stay longer and to experience this. I think this is a beautiful moment, you see. And this is really true satsang, that someone, is going through this process with Moksha Mukti. So this is really good satsang today. And those who will be watching this later on, this is really natural meditation. Moksha Mukti is guiding you. Natural meditation. There is no force here. There is no artificial process here. See, this is natural meditation. And when someone is meditating, that itself will guide you to the meditation. So what is happening now is the meditation that is happening. Moksha Mukti is meditating naturally, and through the meditation, another person is able to meditate with Moksha Mukti. So that is what is happening. So it's a beautiful moment. So those of you who are watching this later on, see, I think this is a powerful moment here. See, this is a powerful moment. Subtle powerful. Not like powerful, whoa, 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 like that. Not talking about that powerful. Subtly, it's a powerful moment. So Moksha Mukti only going to be here a few minutes. Pointing you to see the source of the happiness, to experience this now, to explore this now in the present moment. Be here and now in this ever perpetuating present moment. In the present moment, you can experience that. You can see the source. You can see how you are functioning. Anything and everything, appearing and disappearing in your source. So I'm going to be here just a few minutes here. Brenda sent me a friend request on Facebook. So Brenda, I accepted your friend request. So Moksha Mukti is probably going to be here another 4 or 5 minutes. And he will probably speak again on Saturday. He's usually busy on the weekend. Maybe Saturday, Sunday, he'll, if you have some time, he'll speak again Saturday and Sunday and Monday, and almost every day. So this is Moksha Mukti Apollo, giving live talks, pointing you to see the source of your happiness, of the happiness that is already within you, exploring and experiencing now in the present moment. And Moksha Mukti only has a few minutes, so if you have any questions, comment, concern, type it up, so he can point you to the source of the happiness. Welcome. If you read comments, you know what's going on here. We are pointing you to the source of the happiness, to recognize, to explore within, because the happiness is within you. Happiness is not outward. The outward happiness is the conditional happiness. You see, because one thought can make you happy and the next thought can make you unhappy. Anyway, that's all Moksha Mukti is going to talk today. Thank you for joining, and see you next time. Namaste.